Welcome again to my Tans and Tens of Friends. It is me, Teacher TJ, and today we have a microphone. Hopefully, I hooked everything up and we shall see how this go. It is Black History Month, so I am wearing my Soul Train shirt. Do, 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 do. I've been saying that all day. That's funny. I don't think my children have ever seen an episode of Soul Train. We are reviewing Abbott Elementary, Season 5, Episode 13, Candygram. This show opens up at Janine's house, and her and Janine and Gregory are getting ready to go on a date, and they're dressed in regular clothes because seeing and they're outside of the school. Funny thing about being a teacher is you just really cannot see them outside of teacher clothes and a school. So to see them getting ready for their date is cute, and it's different. So Gregory asked Janine about leaving some sardines on the porch because apparently she's been leaving sardines on the porch or steps for her kitten, who is actually a grown man. Gregory sees the man eating the sardines as she thinks she's leaving them every day for a random cat, which is funny how your parents will say so many things to you and then you don't even really take them into account until you get older. My mom told me you never feed a stray cat. So I don't. And because they'll never go away. And to see Janine feeding this kitten, it's like, girl, did your mama teach you anything? But it turns out this grown man, and he said, can I get some crackers and some mustard next time? And he had to go and catch his bus. He told Gregory just make sure he bring the proper things for him to make a sandwich before he goes to catch his bus. And then the show opens up. The show starts with Janine, Barbara, Gregory, Mr. Johnson, and Melissa in the break room. And Gregory is realizing that his rent is going up, and he's already doing a food driving job, which is Uber or DoorDash or something like that, I would guess. And he said that's still not enough money, so Mr. Johnson offers him to live with him, and Janine also offers for him to live with her. And I think that was pretty cool, pretty sweet. And he's considering it. And she says, we'll never have to say bye. And I thought that was sweet. That's, things that women, I try not to say female so it's not looked at wrong, but that's the thing that women usually do. They yay, we can forever. And the funny thing is the dude starts to act like, oh, here come the ball and the chain. But Gregory, because we like Gregory for Janine, he's kind of like, yeah, it's true. We won't. He didn't say it, but he kind of gave the vibe like, okay, yeah, we won't have to say goodbye. Because sometimes you'll say something like that and they be looking like, girl, we gonna say bye. It looks like she will be moving in with Gregory, and they will be roommates. Mr. Johnson is confused on why he wouldn't live with him over Janine, but okay. In the break room, the teachers also discuss Candygram season, I guess we'll call it. The teachers are kind of worried about what kids are going to get them, and if it's a good idea or a joyous occasion, they're going to see how it goes. And you gotta love Ava. Next, we go to Ava's office, and there is a bunch of Valentine's Day gifts in her office, all sorts, everything you could think of, all sizes, okay? And she's like, yeah, guess her boyfriend is there, or man, what you want to call him, is there. And he says, wow, it's a lot of gifts. And she's like, yeah, exes, suitors, different type of men who've been pursuing her. I love Ava. But yeah, so she has a bunch of gifts in her office, and her boyfriend's like, I ain't seen this many. Nah, but he gonna just sound like he's trying to top her. I ain't seen this many gifts since my Instagram address went public or whatever. She like, yeah, I'm with you. She ain't say that, but Ava, she like, I'm with you, so of course you should get some type of attention. Ava lets it be known that she is everyone's one who got away. Jacob found out that Janine and Gregory are getting ready to move in together, and he's so excited for them. He's so happy for them. And he's like, yay, you guys are going to move your stuff in together. And now we get to see Gregory's excitement for living together start to fade. As if why? Somebody please let me know down in the comments. Why do men act like they have stuff? Gregory, we've been to your apartment. You got a ball for a chair. You don't have stuff. Like, you'll be fine. Just use Janine's stuff. You'll be all right. And when you move out, you won't have to worry about moving no stuff out if you have to move out. So, just go with the flow and continue to be happy that she's allowing you to move into her space. Since they're both going to have things, Jacob reminds them 2 colanders is a no, okay? Because you'll never be making 2 starches at a time. It's so true. You will never be making 2 starches at a time. You don't need 2 colanders. Now, whether or not you have enough room for 2 colanders is another thing. I think you should have room for 2 colanders. Just put one inside of the other one. As Gregory is walking the halls getting ready to go into his class or Janine's, he runs right into Tariq. I like the way, boy, men are so funny. I like the way that he kind of strolled up to him like, hey, Gregory, I heard you moving into my old apartment. Boy, you can't even call it your old apartment because you didn't pay any bills there. Knock it off. Tariq hating sale talk about some. He left a GameCube, I think it was, in the cabinet at the house. And if he can, make sure he don't turn it off. Boy, please, if I find it something that's been on for this long, not only am I going to turn it off, I might just throw it away because why is it even still here? Second of all, I don't trust devices. I don't trust any devices. So if we got a GameCube that's just going for months and months and months, we're turning that off. And Tariq goes on to say, I wonder if them walls can talk. What? Tariq's lightweight hating because why the walls need to talk, Tariq? While Mr. Gregory is at Janine's apartment, he finds out that there is more Tariq inside that place than he is willing to tolerate. So he tells Janine that maybe they should go just take a look at some other places, not really to move there, but just to just check them out. And this is season 5 here. They really gotta work on being like straight up and honest with each other. Is that a thing? Can that happen? Because I know I can be honest. I've been honest, but you just never really. Yeah, I hope they could be honest with each other. Is what I'm gonna say. Because he wants to go look at apartments because he does not want to stay in Janine's place since it's so much Tariq memories in there and stuff. So he wants to move, but instead of saying we're not gonna stay here, we're gonna stay together, but we can't stay here. He says that they're just going to go look around for fun. Keep it 100, Gregory. Keep it 100. Nobody has time for that. So, in Ava's office, her boo basically let her know she needs to let them gifts go. He doesn't like the idea of her receiving so many gifts from so many people. Ava's so she's so player that she wants to know, okay, so what you want me to call them? My girl getting them gifts and she ain't talked to nobody. Meanwhile, you got the ladies out here trying to figure out, how they supposed to say that they like flowers or whatever. I know Ava is fictional, but let me tell you, I had a sister who was just like that. Like, what you were going to do was wait and be happy to have an opportunity to buy her a gift. And yeah, That was straight like that. So you were going to buy her a gift. Meanwhile, Barbara and Melissa are in the break room, and they found out that one of the students did not receive a candygram. So they're creating one for the student who did not get a candygram. Melissa and Barbara have created a candygram for the student who did not get one. And the funny thing is, Jacob says that he never received a candygram, and he don't feel like they need to give him one. But he's experienced it. It's okay. And they both look at Jacob like, maybe we should send 2 candygrams because he turned out to grow. The teacher is passing. Okay, so the teacher, this, I don't know what class this is, if she's new, subbing or what, but this teacher in the kids' classroom, she looks like the lady off of Half and Half, I think it was. She's passing out the candygrams. In Ava's office, she's kind of going through it because her man wants her to give out the gifts back. So she's just looking at the gifts, going through the gifts. She tells Mr. Johnson to hand her a Louis Vuitton purse that she got. And she looks at it and she throws it over in the corner, talking about, I'm sick of getting the same color over and over again. Girl, what? I do, if I'm not mistaken, I do remember there being a period where, don't fault me, I don't own Louis Vuitton, okay? But I do remember there being a period where there were like white Louis Vuitton bags with different colors, like multiple colors in it, that had the signature. And then there's the traditional Louis Vuitton brown and tan. She's talking about, I'm so sick of getting the same color. Girl, what? And tossed the bag to the side like it wasn't Louis Vuitton. And she got a whole stack of Louis Vuitton bags in all sizes over in the corner. She's inspiration. While looking at the apartment, Gregory finally admitted to Janine that he does not want to move in with her. And we call them landlords. I think they call them supers in other places. But he was showing them the apartment, and he let them know that he was locked in the bathroom because it's a bring your own knob type of place. What? But the kid who didn't get the candygram was surprised to see that he got a candygram. And he only got one because it was from Melissa and Barbara. Gregory lets Janine know that he wants to start fresh with her in an apartment that was not formerly her ex or a place that he lived. Turns out that Trevor never needed anyone to buy him a gift. He has a girlfriend, and she was about ready to fight for her man. She wanted to know who sent him some candy, and she found it very weird that the teachers sent him the teacher sent him a candygram. So they apologized for getting all in Trevor's business, and Ava gave all of the gifts back. Ava donated her gifts to the needy, she calls them, which is Mr. Johnson and some other staff. Tariq come walking himself into Janine class talking about some, I was just thinking about y'all. Why is you thinking about us, Tariq? Get out of our classroom. Get out of our lives. I was just thinking about y'all. How was you thinking about me and my man? Not only has he stopped by the school, their job, to get his son Nick, whom he can never find. This fool done made a smoothie last night at their house. He like, y'all didn't hear me. Do what you doing, because I don't know how to make a quiet smoothie. I've never heard a quiet smoothie. Well, I guess you wouldn't hear a quiet smoothie. But quiet smoothies don't exist. What are you doing in their house? Well, Mr. Eddie comes to the realization that they can afford the apartment above Janine, which is more spacious and it's just a better apartment overall. But Janine is stuck on the fact that it's an extra $400 and she's barely making the rent that she make. And why it never dawned on that girl that she was going to be going 50-50 with that man is beyond me. So wait a minute. You were finna move this man in with you for free? Ladies, don't do that. 2026, we don't do that. We don't move no man in for free. 50-50, that's another story. I personally will never go 50-50 again in my life. I don't care what happens. My dream situation is you live over there, I live over here. But as far as let's move together and split the rent, no, no, no. Never doing it. Never doing it again in my life. Do not want to share my space. I do not want to split the rent. I'd rather pay full portions of rent and live by myself than to go 50-50 with a man ever again in my life. And to be quite honest, I don't even want you to pay all of the rent because I just don't never want to live with another man in my life. I'm at the point where I'm counting down when my kids are old enough to get out my house. So, and that they never had to go anywhere. And I'm trying to come to embedding in my brain that once my kids get old enough, now 50-50 is a different situation with them. Like, I have come to the realization that I would have to be compensated in some type of way if they were to move in to my place once they move out as adults. 50-50 with a man? Not me, girl. Let me know what y'all think about that. Is that fun? Y'all like it? Is it hot? That's what hot in the streets. That's still a thing, going 50-50. Okay. Janine is so happy to be going 50-50 that I'm not even gonna lie, I'm actually kind of happy for her because let's be for real, she was just dating Tariq, and Tariq didn't have a job, didn't have any money, so she was paying all the bills, all the rent, and everything else. And Gregory is like, we split all of that, like the bills, the rent. She said, well, I'll just buy all the tissue because, and Peps, they got to just do too much. And he says, no, we splitting that too. I like him for her. Like 50-50 is totally fine for them because the problem with 50-50 is 50 becomes 40 and then 40 becomes 30 and then 30 becomes 20 until you look up there. I ain't got no. But I feel like Gregory is really going to continue on with his 50. So I like that for them. That works for them. At the end of the day, the teachers realized that, well, Jacob, Barbara, and Melissa all realized that the gift that they thought they got for their loved one, they do not have, and they all have to go shop. At the end of the show, Gregory and Janine has set up their table in their apartment, table and chairs, and it's so cute. They're just sitting at the table, trying to figure out because it's a bit long for two people, but not quite too big for two people. Person table. And so they're like sitting at opposite ends, like, oh no, this feels too far. Okay, what if we sit like this? So they're just trying out their little table, and it's so cute. And Janine wonders out loud, I wonder what's gonna happen to that cat I've been feeding. And Gregory look at her like, yeah, about that. The cat said he wants some bread and some mustard, mud. That is the end of this Abbott Elementary review. Thank you so much for tuning in. And don't forget, if you are not a 10, please go ahead and subscribe and like and comment down below. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, 10. But today we are rewinding. If everything goes well, then I'm happy. But we are, I feel like a real podcaster, like a real, like a real, like a real, I have an app. It's for fasting, and that app reminds me to keep hydrated. And instead of just being like, yeah, I'm keeping hydrated, I literally take a sip of my drink when I see that reminder. So as if to stay hydrated because your girl getting old. I need my hydration. Nonetheless, we are rewinding Abbott's Elementary season 5, episode 13, Valentine's Day. I just did Valentine's Day, right, guys? It was Valentine's Day season 2, but we are on season 5, and it is Valentine's Day. Let me make sure I'm right. I lied. It's Candy Graham. He didn't say it, but he kind of gave the vibe like, okay, yeah, we won't have to say goodbye. Because, sometimes you'll say something like that and they be looking like, girl, we gonna say bye. No. So it looks like she will be moving. I like the way, boy, being are so funny. I like the way that he kind of strolled up to him like, hey, Gregory, we should see how this goes. That it was a show with the two black sisters, and they were half sisters. Well, there was one with really curly hair, and then the other one she wore straight hair. That says a lot. Drop down in the comment if y'all know what I'm talking about. But I think that's the teacher that's on Abbott Elementary. That's pretty cool to see her again if that's her. Also, I want to say his name is Randall, but the kid turns out Trevor never needed anyone to buy. Trevor never